This video is sponsored by Great Escape Games, the largest gaming venue in the greater Sacramento area, servicing its customers since 1996. Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you how I painted the Incredible Hulk for Marvel Crisis Protocol up to tabletop standard in a quick and easy fashion. Alright, let's jump into it. When priming the Incredible Hulk, I decided to do a Zenithal prime. Normally, I'll prime Marvel Crisis Protocol models in just white because I want them to look really bright, but the Zenithal prime is going to do a good job of showing his muscles and where the raised areas are. Moving on to base coating the model. I went and found a green that I want Hulk's skin color to be, which is Vallejo's Intermediate Green. Then I added a little bit of black to it. It's really up to you on how much black you want to add. It's just going to create a higher to lower amount of contrast when we move on to the steps of highlighting his skin. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this mixture, and we're just going to cover all of his skin in this black and green combo. And I'm going to cover his hair as well, and you'll see later on why I do that. And when applying the coverage to the model, we don't really need to worry too much about how covered the raised areas are. I mean, you're going to want to cover everything, but in this part, we're really just focusing on the recess areas and making sure that black-green gets into there. Now that our base coat has dried, we're going to take our Vallejo Intermediate Green and we're going to dry brush the entire model. And this includes Hulk's hair, not just his skin. And when I do this, if you're not familiar with dry brushing, what you take is an old brush or a makeup brush or whatever brush that you don't care about ruining, and you put the paint on it and then you dry it off with a paper towel. And when I do the dry brushing motion, I'm going to kind of go in a downward motion. And I'll test it out when I first dry brush him to see how much coverage or how wet the brush is. And since this is one of the first of many steps that I'm going to be doing in dry brushing, with this model specifically, I wasn't too worried about there being a high amount of coverage. So as you see, I'm just going to go over the entire model on his skin and kind of pick out these raised areas with doing, like, I would say probably like 90% coverage, so that it almost looks like he's lined with that black-green paint that we used while base coating. After that, I'm going to take our intermediate green and I'm going to mix it with some Flash Grits Yellow by Citadel. And what I'm trying to achieve is I'm trying to make this like a very gamma-y looking green so that when we dry brush it on Hulk, he looks like he's gamma infused. So in the similar motion and the similar fashion that I applied the dry brush of intermediate green, I'm going to do the same thing with this Flash Grits Yellow and intermediate green mix. We're going to go down in a downwards motion. We're just going to cover slightly less of the model. And if you notice, I'll be covering his hair as well. Originally, when I set out to paint this model, I kind of had a plan that I was going to work my way up. I was going to take my intermediate green and I was going to mix it with this Flash Grits Yellow, making the green lighter and lighter. But after doing this first dry brush coat of the mixture, I decided that he looked gammaed out enough for me. It was a light enough green, so I decided to just leave it with that many coats. So I've already painted my She-Hulk model. I did an MCU version of She-Hulk, and I liked how the purple came out. So I decided that we were just going to do matching purple for Hulk's pants. So let me see, which purple is it? It's the Hive Dweller Purple by Speed Paint Army Painter. I'm not a huge fan of speed paints by Army Painter. I do like them for some things, but this purple is really dark, one. And then two, when I paint the lighter purple on it, speed paints have this like reactivating factor, which is nice because it will kind of transition the highlight into the original color. So I'm just going to go ahead and base coat all of his pants in this Hive Dweller purple. Another nice thing is that because we dry brushed, there's some green on the pants, but this purple is so dark that it's just going to cover it outright. So, yep. Because I want this paint job to be kind of a quick and easy one, I decided that instead of doing my normal highlighting process, I'm just going to dry brush his pants as well. And similarly to how I did the intermediate green dry brush, I'm looking for probably like in the 80 to 90% coverage. The purple that I chose to use is from AK. It's a deep violet. And I like it because it's really, really bright. So I'm just going to go ahead and dry brush all of this deep violet over our speed paint color. Instead of doing an up and down motion like I did with the skin, I feel like with the pants, the raised edges are more on a side to side. So I decided to go side to side, showing these raised areas popping out more. Now that we finished the pants, I wanted to move on to the hair. I wanted the hair to be kind of green, but not really. I've painted Hulk before, and I noticed that when his hair is a little too green, it doesn't separate from like the rest of the model. It kind of just blends in. So I decided to dry brush the hair exactly like I dry brushed the skin, but then I'm going to go over it in Citadel's Contrast Black Templar. That way the hair will be black, but it will show this green undertone. So that way his hair does have this gamma-ish feel to it, while still being black and different from the rest of the skin. I wanted to do something a little bit different with his eyes, and I kind of wanted to make the Hulk really, really angry looking, like he's just like hulking out super hard. And I didn't want to use a green, again, similarly to the hair, because I wanted the eyes to stand out, so I decided to just go with a bright, bright red for his eyes. Moving on to his teeth, I'm not a huge fan of teeth looking white. I mean, If you have white teeth, you're pretty lucky, I'm not going to lie. But most people I know, and myself included, my teeth aren't super, super white. I want them to have kind of more of a bone look to them, so I just used whatever bone white paint I had lying around. And I'm going to go ahead and paint all the raised areas and the majority of it that bone white. And I did happen to paint some of his lips, so I just went in with a brush I had lying around with some water on it and wiped that away. After doing that bone white coverage of the teeth were just a little bit too bright for me. So I took some Skeleton Horde Contrast by Citadel, and I just kind of lined the teeth out. That way it would add some depth and some color and some contrast. And there you have it. Here's our finished Incredible Hulk in a quick and easy paint job that makes the tabletop ready. I didn't include painting his base in the video. I have a separate video where I paint bases. If you're worried about, the base not connecting to his feet because there's paint on it or whatever, I usually pin them. I'll just drill a hole in the bottom of the feet, put like a paper clip through and pin them to the base. But if you want to see how his base was painted, I have a video where you can see how I paint bases in a similar fashion. Now, thanks for watching. I hope this helps. I hope this allows you to paint the Incredible Hulk quick and easy and get him on the tabletop and start smashing.